Guys, it's the Shookman here once again, and Hogan. I've just taken him for a big walk around the block and put his jacket on because he's got a rain jacket he wears as well. Alright, so we're going to be talking about critical PTSD, mood swings, mental health issues, addictions, covering a couple of things, and days like today, how it's really cold and wet and miserable. Life's got so much to offer us, it's not funny. I spent many years, because of my critical PTSD, hating the world through how I was treated as a ward of the state, come from abuse. So when I hear people's stories, because I talk to a lot of interesting people, and they tell me their story, and some stories are really sad, but you know what, guys? It's not about comparing stories to see whose story is the worst, because any story is bad in itself. It's about how we can get to the other end of the track, as I say. It's how we can forget about what happened to us, about the abuse and the suffering we did, because no one will really understand the suffering and abuse that we went through except ourselves. No one. You can tell someone the story, but unless they've lived our life, they're never really going to understand the abuse, the suffering and the heartache and the pain we went through, especially if you're a ward of the state. Now, I get people's pain and sorrow like mine. I turned to alcohol for half my life. I wasted my life getting drunk, smoking heaps of cigarettes and doing dumb things. It's only just recently, since I hit 50, I started giving life a good go. Yeah, I suffer from PTSD, critical PTSD, mood swings and mental health. I put my hand up to that stuff. But it's how we survive and how we get through to it till the end of the road. Like, I'm halfway through my life at the moment, 54 years old, and there's a lot of things that I missed out on doing because of all my shit that I lived through. I had a real mother that didn't love me for whatever reasons it was, hands me into the orphanage, and then I go to another mother, foster mother, that abuses me and brings me up with violence. So guys, I really get your pain and sorrows and your story, but it's a matter of how we are going to survive and move on in our lives. We've got to somehow put it aside and get on with our life, because you know what, before we know it, we're no longer here. And I say that respectively. I hope to get to 80 and then pass on, and I hope by in that time I've did everything I've possibly could have done, like rescue these beautiful dogs. With me and my partner have rescued so many unwanted dogs, you got to stop and think, wow, what's their story? They can't tell us our stories, so we just be there and adopt them, rescue them, and give them a lovely home until they pass on. Because they didn't ask to be unwanted. They've got a story in itself. But you know what, guys? Life is what you make of it. And I say that because I've lived life. It's better coming out of my mouth than it is someone else's mouth that's never lived on the streets, never been a ward of the state, never been abused, never been this and never been that. It's better to come out of someone else's mouth that's experienced all this. But you know what I've learned so far? Life is what you want to make of it. You want to go down that bad road, you'll keep continually going down that bad road. You want to go down the good road, you'll go down that good road. I can't, people say, give me some good advice and tell me what I can do, how I can fix my life up. I can't do that, man. You've got to work it out for yourself. Yeah, it's alright to hurt. It's alright to cry. It's called emotions and feelings. We've all got it, unless we're some sort of cold person that's got no feelings and emotions. And those type of people I don't want to hang around with. I like to be around good people and share good things. But the message to the story is, it's Hogan talking. You've got to keep fighting in life. You can't give up. And you can do it. No one else can do it like me. Many years I gave up. And then I woke up one day and thought, you know what? I've got to give it a real good go. Alright guys, that's enough of the Chook Man babbling on about life. I'll talk to you soon. It's Hogan guarding the property. Good boy.